the first Night investigation where they got a knock, I listened to the audio several times, and, you know, normally when they get a knock, I just like, oh, it could have been a twig breaking or something. That sounded like a legit knock to me.
Yeah.
Which I found...
I don't heard it, honestly. I had to, like, listen for it very closely.
Yeah, I had to rewind it like 600 times, but I was listening to it, and I'm like, hey, that sounded like what I heard outside that one day. So I do think that was a knock.
Yeah.
What caused it? I don't know. This is Virginia. God, that's but I gotta go to the next Night investigation. I really liked how Cliff was like, whenever a Bigfoot is calling, which he seems to do a lot, he says he looks at it rather conservatively. And when I was hearing those howls, of course, Matt Moneymaker was like, oh, look, it's a Bigfoot.
Right, of course, yeah.
But Cliff was like, hey, I think that was a coyote call. Because it was so far away that he couldn't really make it out. And if you can't really make it out what it is, you can't say it's definitive proof.
Of course, yeah.
Which, you know, no offense to Matt Moneymaker, but,
yeah.
I think that is truly what Moneymaker needs to look at more, is that he really needs to really just stop thinking that everything's a Bigfoot.
He's not critical enough, for sure. And this episode's a prime example. Sometimes he talks in absolutes when he shouldn't be. And I think that he should be saying I think and perhaps and I theorize more often and not really talk in absolutes. This is something I want to get into with Bobo in a minute. But Matt does this a lot, and the one thing I love about him is he seems to know what he's talking about.
He is a naturalist. I do think he is a naturalist.
He's got that going for him, and that's something a Bigfoot researcher needs to have. They need to know the lay of the land. Two things. One, he went to the cave, and the first thing he wanted to do was see what the hell was living in there. That's a great idea. You've got to know if something man-sized or Bigfoot-sized can go and live in there without being killed by a rattlesnake or a spider. Is there stuff to eat in there? Which he said, yeah, there is. And he seems to know that if the environment can't support it, they're probably not there, and that's a great thing to have.
Right.
Also, when he brought up that the hill had sunk in, and I was really like, okay, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. He clearly knows the woods, so to speak, and that's important, and that adds to his credibility.
Right.
Yeah, he can get overexcited very easily, and he needs to have that more critical attitude. And not be so absolute. Yeah, which is what Renee has always had, and what I seem to see that Cliff is getting more of. Yes, I agree. Now, if you mind if we go to Bobo next? Go for it. All right. So the cop's sighting, the very close encounter with the cop. Here's the thing: I believe the sighting. I don't know what else it could have been. I mean. Let's run through it quick. The Bigfoot walked up, and it took a very long time for it to get. He really sat and listened to it. First of all, he's a cop. Two, he's an avid hunter. He knows what things sound like, and I don't think he'd be that big of a scaredy cat. The guy hasn't hunted since the 90s now. And the thing came right up to him. It was in mid-daylight. It wasn't a bear, it was walking on two legs, it had to be a Sasquatch or a guy in a suit, maybe. But I doubt it. The guy in the suit thing is always something that I've got to question, because what's the motive and how they know he was going to be there? But anyway, I don't think it was a guy in the suit. I think it was a Bigfoot. Here's my problem with it. Bobo seemed to go into it before he even met the guy. Sure, it was a Sasquatch. That's an automatic problem, because you don't know. You've barely talked to him. All you've heard is him talk across a room, and without anyone really questioning him, without seeing the scene, really without anything to go on. He just seemed to go on the knowledge that he was a cop. That's a good thing, but you've still got to be critical. Everyone's human. We all make mistakes. And Bobo's slogan that I'm not a believer, I'm a knower. That's kind of a problem, because again, he's not going to be as critical. And that's one thing that Bobo's had for the whole series to me. He's got to be more critical. And this was a prime example of one of them. He just went in, pretty much said, yeah, it's a Bigfoot, walked away. Really, really kind of an unprofessional way. Things that I really hate to say that because I love Bobo, but it's kind of an unprofessional way to do things, and you've got to be more critical with something this controversial. Especially
with exactly. And the unfortunate thing is I think if they keep acting like that, it's not going to attract more people, more believers. It's going to drive those people who are still questioning it even further away.
I completely agree. How many people do you hear who watch the show, just the entertainment value?
Yeah, a lot of people just watch it for the entertainment value.
And if they're more critical, people are going to be more subjected to them being professionals.
And that's what I think, yeah.
And they're slowly becoming more like that, though. Especially Cliff and Renee are really kind of being the two most critical ones on the team.
Yeah.
I think that's on his way. Bobo needs to pick it up.
Right. Anything else you want to say?
No, not really.
Yeah, because it wasn't a really fantastic episode.
We didn't talk about really the powder.
Oh yeah, well it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
And what I really liked about it was that right away it proved that things were walking through the woods, like the raccoon tracks. They were actually able to see where the raccoon went. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's a creative idea. And the thing is, without the infrared, you don't really see the powder at night.
Of course, yeah. And it's a great way to do that since they're not going to know they've walked through it. So they don't know something's tracking them. That's a great idea.
But one of my complaints with that was they put donuts out there, and I could picture like a bear. I don't even know if they have bears in Virginia. I'm sure they do, but I don't know what type of bears.
They have black bears.
Black bears, okay, same up here. I could picture a bear taking it away. But I think a Bigfoot is going to be smart enough that if they see some donuts there, they're like, oh, this isn't right. And so they're going to walk away.
Yeah, I agree.
If they just left something natural there, I believe that it could have been at least curious.
Fruits and veggies, man. That's where you got to go.
Right.
Because they look natural. And here's how you can avoid both those problems. Things looking unnatural and things not appealing to a Sasquatch. Pheromones.
Yeah, they did that in the Animal X episode, remember?
Yes, yes.
And I like that.
Are a very specific kind of attraction for a Sasquatch. You're not going to get then all the animals that come through. If anything, they'll be repelled by it. If you use the pheromones, you're going to get what you want. And I know they said that they were going for everything to see maybe what they're eating, and that's a good idea. I like that too. But I think that if they want to go for more specific, we want to see if they're in the area kind of attempt, pheromones are the way to go.
Right. Yeah.
Grade 8 pheromones.
Yeah. So anything else?
No, that's pretty much all I want to talk about.
Yeah, same here. So a little bit of a quickie episode. So I'm Adam Noyce.
I'm Bill Worster. Subscribe, please.
Subscribe to this guy. He has 277 subscribers. I only have 92, and I haven't gone up for about a week. So.
Wait, one more plug, if you don't mind. ZGC Monthly Reviews. It's a monthly review series.
Yeah.
First 2 episodes are up. And you can check out the 3rd one in a couple of weeks. We've already recorded it. Now we just got to edit it.
Oh yeah, it's pretty BA. A really overly epic opening, and then we just talk about movie.
Yeah, true.
So.
He already died and resurrected himself, so it's pretty epic. You should check it out.
Right. So, yeah, make sure to stay tuned for Lake of Death. I just gotta say, it's a little bit on hiatus right now because of family issues, but we are still making the movie. We don't know when it'll be released yet, but we're almost done. We're getting ready to wrap up. So, thank you so much for those who have been loyal. So, goodbye, and we will see you here next week.